Russia will be the nation to watch in terms of gold as they have just leveled up. We're going to discuss why this is so important for their economy and their status in the world as we explore. You may remember the famous photos of Vladimir Putin holding massive gold bars from their central bank. Yeah, they've shown them, and they've shown those pictures in color. Here in the United States, we may be repeating the same thing with Donald Trump visiting Fort Knox. That's right, he's going to actually go there. We just don't know when. Notwithstanding, Russia has made news yet again by breaking a huge milestone. I'm going to be reporting from Caspian News, which actually references another source that was questionable at one time, but we'll see how it plays out here. Now stay tuned in this video because I'm going to show you a new silver round that I got. And it's not that it's expensive or any rare or anything like that, but it's just really cool. I think you'll like it. And I also want to remind you about channel sponsor Summit Metals, where you can be your own central bank by accumulating gold. Check out Summit Metals. They have some of the best deals out there for your gold products, especially fractional gold eagles. So check out summitmetals.com. Now, gold is a metal that has no political affiliation. It doesn't have an agenda, although nations certainly, when they accumulate it, they have an agenda, no question. But all the nations in the world that are big, that are first world nations, even if they have smaller economies, they're still accumulating gold. And Russia's economy is about the size of Italy's. So what I'm going to tell you about here from this piece from Caspian News makes extra special because Russia has expanded its gold reserves to record levels, hitting a total of $217.4 billion worth as of the 1st of March. The country ranks now 5th globally, surpassing China, because we know how big China is with their gold reserves, and officially, Russia has passed them. Now, I have to use that term because China is also accumulating a lot of gold from other sources. They're one of the largest miners of gold in the world, and probably they're accumulating through their sovereign wealth fund, which is not reported through the World Gold Council. But with Russia, they have gold that makes up 34.4% of its total foreign exchange reserves. That's a huge percentage. According to the RBC News website, which is a website that I have referenced before that gave me fake news about Russia selling off about 40+% of their gold reserves. That didn't happen. It was a very strange article, and several agencies picked up on it. It was only until James Anderson pointed out my error in it from the same article that it kind of reported that. But the Central Bank of Russia continues to prioritize gold accumulation, reflecting a broader trend of central banks worldwide seeking stability through precious metals. Now, Russia, we know they're part of the BRICS nations. They've been among the world's most aggressive gold buyers for the past decade, particularly after its relations with Western nations soured following the annexation of Crimea in 2014. In 2017, the country purchased 224 tons of gold, largely financed by selling U.S. Treasury holdings. That's the beginning of the real de-dollarization that we're seeing amp up a bit more now. The shift underscores Russia's ongoing effort to reduce dependence on the U.S. dollar and strengthen its financial independence. However, the United States remains the largest holder of gold reserves, boasting approximately 8,133.5 tons, accounting for over 74% of its total reserves. And that's just it. We're even larger percentage-wise, but we've not accumulated any more, and we've not sold off any, at least officially. Germany, Italy, and France follow, each holding more than 2,400 tons, with gold representing over 70% of their national reserves. The World Gold Council reported that global gold demand reached a record 4,900 tons in 2024, driven by heightened investment interest and persistent central bank purchases. The price of gold broke records 40 times throughout the year, rising by 27%. In fact, as of the recording of this video, it's broken yet another new record high, almost reaching $3,050 per ounce. Analysts attribute the surge to economic uncertainties and geopolitical tensions, which have prompted central banks to increase their gold holdings as a safeguard against financial volatility, also driven by tariffs as well. And I think that likely we'll see gold at least subside a bit or consolidate once those are in place and deals are made to lower tariffs on both ends of the spectrum. As of March 15th, 2025, the official price of gold in Russia was set at 1,181 rubles per gram. This price places the value of the standard 10-kilogram gold bar at approximately 81.8 million rubles, equivalent to about a $1.09 million at the current exchange rates. 10-kilogram gold bar. That's really essentially the standard 400-ounce bar that you see out there, and those weigh about 27 some odd pounds. Those are called good delivery bars that the central banks holds. And if you see that picture of Vladimir Putin holding it, you know what I'm talking about. Very high purity for sure. And nonetheless, it is quite a sight to see and to hold. You know, one of those things for sure. And you know, if you want to get a good idea of what a gold bar looks like, that would be held in Fort Knox, go over to Silver Dragon's channel. He just did a video showing one of those at Stacks and Bowers, or the Heritage. I think it's Heritage or Stacks and Bowers, one of those big auction houses, and he held that thing, and it's pretty impressive. And that thing is worth about $1.2 million right now. But gold, you know, you and I can hold it as well too. Maybe not something that large, but we can hold gold, and every little bit helps to preserve our wealth. And we can be our own central bank by having gold in our portfolio. And I think it's quite something to see for sure. And you know, with this website RBCU having reported that they had sold off all these reserves, or 40% of the holdings there. I don't really know where they got their numbers from, but in Russia, most of the commercial banks are essentially owned by the state, and most of the gold that is bought from the public comes from these types of banks. And so likely it means that the gold was sold off to the general public, because the general public is holding gold in Russia, but not so much dollars these days. And so reading from this website, as of the 1st of March of 2025, the value of the gold reserve in Russia in monetary terms is $217.4 billion, follows from the data from the central bank. The 25-year record of the share of gold in the gold reserves was updated, and so that was the highest it's been since November the 1st, 1999, in comparison to the other reserves. And back then it was at 39.7%. Now it's at 34.4%. For the third year in a row, central banks around the world buy more than 1,000 tons of gold in their reserves. And in 2024, they purchased 1,045 tons. In 2023, 1,037 tons. And this is at a time when the BRICS were becoming more of a threat. And the BRICS nations, with the de-dollarization that has been talked about and bantered about, you know, they are continuing to be sort of a threat. And I think that's in some way why Trump is trying to actively work with Putin, in a sense, to try to develop relationships with not only Russia, but Ukraine as well, to try to circumvent what the BRICS are trying to do here to keep the dollar the dominant currency, because there really is a threat. It's marginal right now, but on the path that they're going with accumulating gold and gold continuing to outperform the dollar, its dominance, I think there's a real threat there, and I think that's part of what's happening. And Russia sees this, and they're continuing, even with Trump as president, they're continuing to accumulate gold. And you know what? I don't blame them. I don't blame anybody, individually or any nation, no matter what their viewpoints are, no matter what their history is, to accumulate gold. It's pretty amazing. And so we're seeing that happen. It's a wonderful thing to witness, I think, in a way. And I think that, honestly, we in the United States, we should be, or the United States itself, the Treasury Department should accumulate more gold than what we have. I believe in accumulating gold into our central bank as well. Well, not our central bank, but into the Treasury. That our central bank, the Federal Reserve, actually holds gold certificates, which represent the gold. We're going to be going through probably a revaluation period if this legislation does get passed, and we'll see how that plays out. Nonetheless, other nations are holding gold, and we should too. Now, on to the silver round that I got. This thing is really cool. I got this at my local coin shop for about $1.50 above spot, and it's just a very nicely done round. I think this may have been produced by Golden State Mint, but it has sort of a milky satin finish to it. And it was minted in 2000, well, it's stamped 2013, but who knows, they probably continued striking these things. It is 3 nines, fine silver, 1 troy ounce, fine silver here. And what's interesting about this is that if you look here, it says 1 troy ounce, but fine silver is upside down on it. And I don't understand why that is the case. That's a very strange thing that fine silver would be there. It's almost like, and this is also a coin turn. So you turn it, that's very rare for a round, by the way. So if you turn it this way, the design is upside down, but fine silver is right side up. So that is a bit odd, is it not? But nonetheless, it's a kind of a cool, unique round. Is that an error? I don't know. For fine silver to be written this other way, it's kind of a strange thing, but it's a beautiful looking round, I think. And one of the reasons why I got it is because 2013 is the year that I started the channel, and it was more focused on silver back then. So just thought I'd share this with you. Let me know what your thoughts are about that silver round and also about Russia and gold. With that, I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.